And as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day.
Welcome back to Marbella Now. My name is Nicole King and this is Marbella's Darling. We're once again in the Marbella Marina welcoming our guests to the Harbour Restaurant. If you've never been here, you really should come in. The food is great and the views of the Marbella Marina, Gibraltar, Africa are just spectacular. We've got a lot going on in our city, so join us for another Marbella Now.
Hey, hey.
It's a pleasure and an honour to welcome Carlos Alcala to Marbella Now. His English is impeccable and he is the councillor for Las Chapas, which is very interesting because, as I understand it, there is a very large English and English-speaking community in your area. So welcome to Marbella Now.
Thank you very much for inviting me to your program.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure for me to be here.
So exciting. We met for the first time at an international residence meeting. It's not an easy task with the great variety of nationalities registered in Marbella. How do you cope going from Marruecos to Germany to Hungary to Russia?
It is not easy, you know, but we are working a lot now to try to convince the people to be registered in Marbella, because it is very important for our town hall to be that the people, the foreigners, has to be registered to receive more money, to have more services, etc. You know, but it's complicated.
It is complicated. We talk about this all the time. In the sense, I think one of the big worries that we've seen is possible tax repercussions. I often explain to people that our gentlemen from the Wolof tribe in Senegal are on the town census. Therefore, one would assume that there are no problems. What are the benefits of being on the register? What does it give the people? What are the benefits for Marbella?
Well, the benefits are for the city, you know. If we have more people, the more people we have, the more benefits we have. We receive money for every person we have in the city, and then if we have more population, we receive more money. Particularly in the hospitals, in the maintenance of the roads, communications, etc. In our particular case in Las Chapas, as I explained you the day I met you before, we only are 13 people registered in Las Chapas. Yeah, but in fact there are more
13,000.
13,000, sorry. And in fact we are more than 40,000. In that case, we have the right to have a small hospital for that area. The minimum person are population is 25,000 people, and then we have more. For that reason, we have the right. But if the people is not registered, we don't have the right to apply for it.
Wow, and you think of that, a lot of people, you have to go to the Costa del Sol, which is over is like over demand. So if the people actually registered in Las Chapas who were living there, instead of having to go to the Costa del Sol hospital for everything, you would have this like outpatients consultation. I don't know how to say it in English.
I don't know how to say it in English.
I mean, neither. Consultorio. I've been here too long, Carlos. But you would be able to go to an outpatients doctor. So with 25,000 registered, and there's only 13,000, and you estimate there's at least 40,000.
Yeah, I think we need to get that figure, you know, because it's possible. It takes time because it's very difficult to convince the people to be registered because they think that they have something involved with the taxes, the taxation, and then the people is afraid to be registered. But it's very easy. You are a number. You are a number. That's only a number.
An anonymous number. You're just putting into.
Not anonymous because you have to register with your name, etc., your address, and your house. But you are a number, and this number is used for every town hall to receive more money from the government within the budget of every year.
A lot of people also think that you need to actually have a residencia because we talk about residency and where you have your residence, but they are separate issues in the sense of if you are renting here in Marbella or if you have bought something in Marbella, then you can sign on to the town register, and it's quite simple as I understand it. What documentation do we need, Carlos?
Well, the passport, the NIE number, and also to fill a form that we have in the town hall. We have in la Tenencia Alcaldía in Las Chiapas, in the mayor's office, we have a person, her name is Ana Ortega. She's in charge of this department, of expat department, and she explains in English and in German perfectly to everybody who wants to be registered the process, and she helps the people to do it in the office in the Tenencia Alcaldía.
So it's not difficult. You just have to take a basic paperwork with you, and you can just speak to Anna in the office in Las Chapas directly, and it's always, why not just pop in, you get to know each other. It's always nice to have that personal contact.
Yeah, it's very, very important. We think that it's very important. It's very cool to fill the document in a computer, but you have a person who help you to explain you what you have to do, what you cannot do. Also, you can apply for the election. If you live in a country of the European market, you can apply for the local elections. So then you can vote as well.
So the elections are coming up in May next year?
In May.
So if you would like to take part and you are from the European community and want to vote as well, then when you sign on the town census, make sure you also tick the I want to vote box. And then also you can get newsletters from the town hall about everything that's going on to keep you up to date on the local events, and that is extranjeros at marbella.es. So there are lots of ways to keep in contact with the town hall.
Yes, and now in September we start a campaign to get more people registered, and also we're going to have another web page. We're going to have a Facebook and all the new system that we have in the computers. We are going to have it to explain everybody what they need, and also to explain what activities we are doing in every area. For example, in my area, in Las Chapas, we did last month, we celebrate the Independence Day, the 4th of July, with American people. And it was very, very nice party with sausages, with burgers and typical American beers. And it was very nice, it was very nice. Now we have the Fiesta de la Cerveza, beers feria. Which
everyone enjoys.
Which everyone enjoy. And also we have the food truck, which is different trucks of different countries in Europe with the food, etc. It's fantastic, it's nice.
So always a lot of things going on for the locals.
Yes.
But it's very important, again, in order for these things to be successful, and in order to have clean streets and bins to put your rubbish in, it is important to sign on the town register. I had someone complain to me that they didn't have the big bins outside their home, and yet it turns out they're living in an apartment block that is predominantly foreign. No one was on the town register, so how is the town hall meant to know anyone's living there to even know to provide the bin, as opposed to as well having the finances, cleaning the streets as well. These are all things, picking up rubbish.
If we have more money, we can do more things, you know. But and now with the clean of the city, we are doing a very big effort to buy new machinery. We have things, we have tractors, many trucks as well, and the people thinks that the city is cleaner than before. it's a big effort what we are doing, especially in La Chiapas. Now we have a team there, and the people is very happy because they can realize that things are changing in La Chiapas.
It's not just the 140 plus nationalities registered on the town census, which is nice to see the variety, if not the real quantity. Marbella is 27 kilometers long. That makes it also an additional challenge to keep everyone together, to keep everyone informed of what's going on. It's important that they do look to the town hall because it must be very hard for you to reach out to every single nationality and area.
Yeah, imagine that you have to go from La Chiapas to San Pedro because there is a meeting with people. Maybe in summer it's quite complicated because of the traffic, no? And for that reason, we try to do it in every area. In September, we have a big meeting in La Chiapas, the 20th of September. We'll keep you informed if you want to come there. And we are going to explain everything about what we are doing, what they need to be registered, how can they be part of the life of the city, and it is very important.
It is. It's very important that we are part of the community.
Yeah.
Because hashtag we are better together, and I think that the town hall, coming from Madrid, I understand the importance of being involved because it's just normal there. You're part of the Spanish way of life. Here, the foreigners, it's very easy to just get lost on the beach with the suntan, with the sunshine, and not realise that we need maintaining.
Yeah.
And it's not fair. Particularly in the summer, it must be an additional challenge, all those extra people coming in.
Yeah, in summer, as you know, the population of Marbella is the triple of the rest of the year. And this is quite complicated to maintain the city in condition to receive so many people. For that reason, the town hall is doing a big effort to contact more people in the cleaning service and many other services to maintain the city in perfect condition to everybody.
And that's what
especially
we all
in the
want.
beach. The beach needs to be clean every day, to change everything. It's fantastic.
And that's if the weather's good and you don't have to actually rebuild the beaches after all the bad weather. Looks like we have some very hot weather coming up now over
not
the
for
next
the moment.
few days.
This summer was fantastic. Until the moment was fantastic, very fresh. We are here. It's not hot today, but maybe in the next week it comes the hot.
Yes, be prepared, drink lots of water, and remember the town hall is here for us. It really is. We've got departments, especially for us foreign residents, and even if you're not a resident and you just want to know what's going on, the town hall is always the first port of call. We tend to ask friends and look all over the place for answers to questions when really you have a full service available to us.
It's important. Now, for example, in La Chiapas, we are organizing dinners in the house of foreigners, and we explain to a few people the benefits to be registered, and it works.
It works.
Because you are not explaining someone who you don't know, is friend or have a friend, and in the confidence area, and the people is answering very well that
Exactly,
question.
and when you understand that it's personal.
When you feel comfortable, you can explain better, and then the people understand, and it works.
And that's the idea. Thank you so much, Carlos. It's a pleasure meeting you and actually having time to chat this time and know a bit more about it. We will be going to Las Chiapas very soon. This is not a threat, it's a promise.
I hope to see you soon in Las Chiapas.
We'll be there. Help me organise a nice thing, because this guy knows what's going on.
We can be in contact, and then we will organise it perfectly.
Fantastic.
Sure.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
I look forward to it.
Thank you.
Free taxi 4 times a month and 25% discount on your car insurance if you're the Zero Hero.
Yeah, I'm here in Marbella, but it says here I'm in La Canada.
If you haven't mastered the lingo, don't worry. Linear Director has a free GPS geolocator service that will come and find you. Those of you who joined us on Mi Marbella Radio on Wednesday the 25th of July will have had the pleasure of listening to the lovely Lena representing the Butterfly Skin Children's Charity here in Marbella, but Lena has come to us from Austria. So welcome to Marbella, sweetheart.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here. How long have you been here?
Already for 11 months.
Wow, that's quite a long time. Have you picked up any Spanish?
Sí, un poquito, hablo.
Muy bien, muy bien. So what brought you over to Marbella with the Butterfly Children's Charity?
I came here to take an internship with Deborah Spain, and was planning to be here for 2 months to help a little bit in summer, but I liked it so much that I stayed. It became like a second family for me. I learn a lot, and I hope I also can help a little.
You're working together with Charito, so I understand that you are studying journalism, marketing. What is your speciality? What is your passion?
My passion is event planning and fundraising.
Wow, very necessary for Deborah, for the Butterfly Children's Charity.
And the good thing here is that I learn a lot. We're not a big team, so you can learn a little bit from every aspect. And also with Charo, she includes me in all her work, and I really enjoy being with her and learning a new thing every day.
As I understand it, the only source of income that you really rely on is from donations, the charity shops, and these events.
Yes.
Obviously, that's a lot of importance on doing good events. Where do you begin? What kind of events can you create? How diverse can you get?
I think there is no real limit. Like, everyone who has a good idea and has enough time and passion, they can do their own little events, and even small things are a big help for us.
You've come from the Butterfly Children's Skin Charity in Austria.
Yes.
What differences do you notice about, say, fundraising and the infrastructure of a charity in Austria compared to how we do things? Well, not just in Spain, but in Marbella, which is its own special idiosyncrasies. It's quite different in itself.
I would say that the fundraising methods differ a little bit. We don't do our own events anymore in Austria, but here, of course, being in a place where everyone plays golf events are a big thing, and it's easier to get people to participate here. And yeah, it's also very interesting for me to see the differences between the two charities, which are basically the same, but they do things differently. And I think that's also the nice part, that they can learn from each other. And there's also Deborah International, and it's a umbrella organization for all the Deborah organizations around the world. And as you can see, I'm here now, coming from Austria, and without Deborah International, this maybe would have never been possible. And so I really like the connections that we have, and I see us like a big family who helps each other and learns from each other and just connects between everyone.
Proving that hashtag Better Together really is the key, because you say we can learn from each other, we can grow together. How did you get involved with the Butterfly Children's Skin Charity in the first place? What was the connection for you?
My father founded Deborah Austria a few years after I was born with other parents, so I basically grew up with having Deborah around me. So it's always been my second family, and they've also been years where I didn't want to be involved so much, because of course I live with butterfly skin myself and it's a big part of my life. But there was some point where I didn't want to be defined by it, and I needed some time to see that it's a big part of myself, but it's not only who I am. But in the end I found my way back, and I love to combine the both parts. Like, I love to be in communication and fundraising and event management, but also I can use the knowledge from having butterfly skin myself, and I think sometimes it's easier to make people understand the importance of their help and their donations, and to raise awareness when they understand how it might be to live with butterfly skin. So I love to combine those parts and get the best out of it.
It's wonderful to see how using what could potentially be something that's negative to a positive. I know that when we were chatting with Jose Godoy and Silvia Magro, they've got a little boy, Pablo, who has mastocytosis, and this is something that gives also afflictions to the skin inside and out. And I know one of the things that was very worrying for them was how other people would react to Pablo, because obviously it's not contagious, there's nothing wrong except for what you are suffering or he is suffering personally. How do you go through a day-to-day embracing? Obviously the family is fundamental.
Yes, without my family, without my sister, I would not be the person that I am today. So I'm really, really happy. My sister, she's healthy, she doesn't have EB, and she was also always a big support for me. She never treated me differently, and with her I always felt normal, as to say. Who knows what
normal is? Exactly, the definition is...
And yeah, for me it was a long way to get to who I am today. A few years ago I would never wear a dress like this. I would cover my arms and my legs because people stare and people talk about you behind your back. And I think without my family and my friends, I would never be as comfortable as I am today. And yeah, sometimes you just have to smile, even though inside you want to cry or you're angry, because people, of course, they don't know, sometimes they don't understand. But
if it's any consolation, people talk about us behind our backs, no matter what you have, whether it's because you're blonde, you're dark, you're curly hair, straight hair, there's always a reason, which is why it's important to just get on with your own life. And that's something you are embracing with such joy. What ambitions do you have towards us, the general public, in the sense of how can we be more empathetic? What should we know?
Well, I think it's important to ask before you talk, before you make a face of disgust. Just walk. If you're interested in a person, or if you wonder what a person went through or is going through, just ask. Most of the people, or if I talk from my side, I'm okay with questions, and I prefer to talk about it than being talked about. So yeah, be more open, be more interested, and never judge before you know what the person has been through.
It's very wise words from a very young lady. How long do you think you'll be staying now in Marbella?
At the moment, I wish I could stay for a longer time, but I have to go back to Austria to finish my studies. So I guess in winter I'll be back home already.
And what plans do you have for back there? And what's the differences? I imagine weather is a big difference.
Yes, the weather is a big difference. Sometimes the people are a little bit more distant, and here everything is a little bit more happy and light.
It's literally the light. Yeah. The sun brings out the sunshine. Yeah, so we can probably expect to see you back again in the future.
I hope so.
I know that the association is enjoying very much having your insight and your support, and it's very important that the community gets involved, and like Pablo's parents, in the sense of no judging. We are a community, and those of us who are in a community, it's up to us to embrace each other and to cover each other's backs and make sure everyone feels comfortable, and no judging other people.
Yeah.
And how else can we help? So we can go and buy things in the charity shops?
Maybe you can think of your own events, for example, a charity birthday. If you're becoming 50 and you invite a lot of people, embrace them to donate a little bit instead of getting presents, for example. Or you can have a charitable wedding, or
or a baby shower, all kinds of things. What a wonderful way to celebrate having a healthy baby, helping a baby who maybe just needs a little bit more help and attention, because it is a lot of help and attention. I suppose that must also influence on your privacy and all kinds of things that we can't even begin to imagine that go on. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed meeting you, and I hope I see you again before you go back to Austria.
I hope so too.
You will always be welcome here.
Thank you.
You want to come and organise some events from Marbella Now, and RTV Marbella will be delighted, and we'll do them obviously with charity in mind.
Thank you so much
for
having me.
Lena from Austria, right here in Marbella. Lovely. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Hey, hey.
Hi, my name is Charito. My full name is Charo van Hulst, and I'm working for the Butterfly Children charity, Deborah, Spain, La Piel de Mariposa. I'm very happy to be here, thanks to Nicole King, and I would like to mention two things today. First of all, I would like to mention our golf event of the 9th of August, this Thursday, in Marbella Club, Marbella Golf Club, sorry. And our dinner gala will be on the 11th of August in Aloha. at the Aloha Terrace. This is going to be a great evening. We still have some availability. So in the end of this video I will leave our website and my phone number, so you can contact us if you would like to join us at the golf or at the gala, because we're celebrating also our 25th anniversary in Spain, so we're very, very proud of that. Then second of all, I would like to encourage and challenge you all to detox your closets. It's very warm outside, so if you are one day inside with your air conditioning, I would like to challenge to detox your closets and bring your clothes, which you don't use anymore, to the shop. And we have got 3 shops in Andalusia, one in Malaga, one in Marbella, and one in San Pedro. And you can bring it in San Pedro. I will give you the address. It's Avenida Pablo Ruiz Picasso, and we're in Jacinto Benavente. It's next to our headquarters office. So yeah, that would be nice if you could think of the charity shops. Also, I would like to mention, it's very important for us to have some volunteers. So this summer, if you are just bored to be on the beach, just come and help us for a few hours in the San Pedro shop, which is actually very, very important to have more volunteers. I would actually, would really ask for more help. That's just vital for us. So I think this is it for so far for today. Again, my name is Charito from the Butterfly Children Charity. Our website is debra.es or lapielmariposa.es, and we've got 2 Facebook pages, one in Spanish, Butterfly Children Charity, and one in English, Butterfly Children Charity, and in Spanish it's La Piel de Mariposa. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.
Free taxi 4 times a month and 25% discount on your car insurance if you're the Zero Hero.
Yeah, I'm here in Marbella, but it says here I'm in La Canada.
If you haven't mastered the lingo, don't worry. Linea Directa has a free GPS geolocator service that will come and find you.
Here on Marbella Now TV, we like to inform foreigners and tourists on new laws that come into action in Marbella. And there's one big one now that started this summer, and that's to do with public nudity. It is now illegal to walk around in public spaces, or even just staying in public spaces or traveling through public spaces with an exposed torso. So no swimwear, not only in your swimwear you're not allowed to be walking, or just shirtless, as you can get a fine of up to 750 euros. Now, public areas and public access areas to beaches and pools, you're allowed to wear, you're allowed to not wear a t-shirt. So paseos marítimos, the beautiful ones that we have along the coast, they're absolutely fine. But walking around, let's say, the center of Marbella, looking at menus that there are in the center of Marbella, in the Casco Antiguo, if you're walking around without a shirt on and you're spotted by the police, you may get a fine from 250 euros to 750 euros, depending on how drastic the police see it. Also, carrying sexual objects around, especially you see these in stag parties and hen-dos, these dolls that may have, you've seen them around, you know what I'm talking about. That's also not allowed anymore, and this started this summer, so do be careful and do be aware of your surroundings and what you're wearing on yourself.
Summer in this city means concerts, and great concerts coming up that I know I am going to be at. And thanks to David Giles here, very popular person when it comes to concert time in Marbella, I know, with us locals. David, I want to go to your concerts. You have some really cool concerts this summer, just 2,
yeah,
but 2 very good ones.
That's right, Nicole. This year, just 2 this summer, because we just wanted 2 party bands this summer. We're going to do a bit more next year. We've got some big plans to bring things to Marbella.
Because it really does take a long time. You have to book these things like years in advance to get the acts that you bring in.
Yeah, and there's quite a lot of competition this year, so we picked our spots, and we're bringing 2 bands that I think fit the the Marbella type of party atmosphere in the summer. So we're bringing on UB40 to Estepona Bullring on Thursday the 16th of August, and 3 or 4 days later, on Sunday the 19th at Puente Romano Hotel Club de Tennis, we bring Kool and the Gang back. We haven't had them here for 8 years, and they sold out last time, and it was a fantastic night out, good party night. UB40, it's their 40th anniversary, so we're quite excited about it. Ticket sales are going pretty good, so I think it's going to be 2 big nights.
It's lovely. Congratulations, because first bringing them over and also having that success on sales, because obviously with Starlight going on, as you say, there's a lot of competition not only getting bands in, but the events going on. But as you say, there is a very large community from the 80s that live here in Marbella, and I know that for me the difference of both venues highlights actually the events themselves. They suit perfectly Kool and the Gang, because Puente Romano is a very elegant evening, and it is a very intimate party feeling.
Correct.
When it gets going.
Yeah, and the Bullring vice versa. UB40 is much more of a have a few beers and maybe another little thing to make the evening enjoyable for the reggae vibe, that type of thing, and they have great hits with Red Wine, Kingston Town. That'll be a party night, but at the Bullring there will create a little bit of a different atmosphere, you know what I mean? Whereas you're right, Puente Romano, this is the only concert of Puente Romano this summer. We have exclusive to Puente Romano anyway, so it's that will be a big night, and you're right, it's a very elegant, fun atmosphere when that place is rocking.
If you've never been to a concert at Puente Romano, I can only highly recommend it, whether you like Kool and the Gang or you don't. The experience in itself, it's a bit like Wimbledon of concerts.
Yeah.
It's a very unique feeling that you don't get in any other venue. So it really is as I say, just for the venue itself, it's something quite a privilege.
And both these bands, they've both been around the world. Obviously Kool and the Gang are American artists from Birmingham in the main, with Jamaican roots. UB40 with Ali, Mickey and Astro, who are the main, members of UB40. And the audience we get is very international, you know what I mean? There's a lot of nationalities here in Marbella now, from Scandinavians to
Moroccans. I mean, we have 140 plus nationalities.
Everyone from Russians to Americans to French to Italians, everybody. It's quite a melting pot in Marbella, and we tend to get a good cross-section of
When did you land in Marbella?
I actually came here as a kid in my teens, but not only for a holiday. And I actually started producing events here in 2001 actually. 2001.
What was your first concert? Or your first
Gloria
event?
Gaynor was the first one at Puente Romano, followed quickly by Blondie, Van Morrison, George Benson. I mean, I've done a lot of concerts there. I mean,
was it because you wanted to meet these people? They were your heroes, or just how did you get involved in the music business in the first place?
I'd been involved in it many years before. I was partners with a guy called Ronnie Wood, who's the guitar player from the Rolling Stones, in a nightclub in Miami in the mid to late 80s.
And how did that come about?
By mistake. I bought a bit of property on South Beach, which was then sort of pretty derelict area of Miami, and I needed to get some cash flow going through it, so I opened a nightclub called Woody's on the Beach, and he lent his image and his promotional
did you contact him to do that, or you just happened to meet?
No, I contacted him. I knew his manager.
So you've always had that eye and the get up and go to just go after what you want, obviously.
I've always I've always enjoyed the music side of it, because obviously being English, growing up in the 60s and 50s for me as well, but the 60s when it was really swinging London, you know, you loved that aspect of your life, you know, it was great. So of course for me to then get involved at a bit later and really get involved, which I have been for the better part of 30 years now, producing events all over the world, it's been a fun time. I have had a great time, love it.
Who's the most emblematic person you've got to meet through your exploits?
I've always liked Joe Cocker, who died 3 or 4 years ago. Joe, guy from Sheffield, a bit like my dad, was a plumber. So I really enjoyed his company because he had good stories. Joe's life pretty well documented about his issues with drink and drugs at one point. I mean, he was the first guy to play Woodstock really, and was the superstar of Woodstock back in those days. A good fellow, I really liked him. Who else did I like? I mean, I liked quite a lot of them actually. So, and
you're a lucky young man. You got to meet a lot of cool people.
Lucky old man.
Well, let's say you've had a lucky life.
Yeah.
It sounds in the sense of you've been able to follow your passions, work at what you like, which is a dream in itself.
Yeah, it is actually.
And you now live in here in Marbella, or do you travel a lot?
Actually, we've just moved here this year to take residence, so we're here now, and that's why next year I'll probably do a little more. Might do something in Palma as well. Might do something up in Costa Brava. Probably do something in the Algarve, but we'll do more here. I've got 2 quite big plans. Actually, my daughter is in the business, but she's more in the younger side, the Latin hip-hop, which is very hot right now. She has a brand called Soulfrito. I'll spell that, Soulfrito.
Nothing like a proud daddy
no,
promoting his baby.
Go to soulfrito.com and you'll see what she does. She just had a sellout show in New York at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, 2 years running. We're contemplating bringing that to Malaga and to London, to tell you the truth. Latin music's very hot right now, particularly for the younger segments.
We'll have to save that for another day. We'd love to meet your daughter and know more about Soulfrito, but in the moment we're at Rock Lounge.
Oh yeah, rocklounge.com.
With David Giles, and you want to go to, Daddy's forgotten what he's talking about now. I'm talking about his baby. Rock Lounge, and you want to get your tickets for Puente Romano for Cool and the Gang and UB40 at the Bullring in Estepona.
Correct. So just go to www.rocklounge.com. Rocklounge.com. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. David, it's been a pleasure chatting with you again.
Always, darling.
Thank you.
Always. Thank you.
Hey, hey.
I'm here today to talk to you about forest fires. Forest fires are a terrible thing, as we all know. We have so much forest land here, we have so much green land here, which is green in winter, in autumn, in rainy seasons, but now that we're in the summer season, we're in the middle, well, we're getting to the middle of August, it's the driest Spain can be. And that means forest fires are extremely dangerous and the forests are extremely vulnerable to them. Now, what can we do to prevent this? There are many ways that we can do this. We can stop littering in the forest when we go hiking with the family, when we're just even visiting, if we even throw anything out of the window on the autopista, on the highways, it can mean that this piece of trash, this piece of litter can start a forest fire. However weird it sounds, it's true. Just a piece of glass can reflect the sun so strongly that it can start a fire, and overnight, maybe even half of Marbella needs to be evacuated. I'm making it dramatic here, of course, but it's because it's that important. Starting a barbecue, of course, don't start fires in the forest. That's extremely dangerous, and I think I even need to say it. But even barbecues from your terrace, if you're having a nice barbecue, and if you live up in the mountains, or even if you live quite in the center, in the central part of Marbella, a little spark can make a big difference, can fly all the way into the forest. Remember, 95% of forest fires are started by human activity. So that's really how important it is that we stay conscious about what we're doing around these dry areas And if you do see a fire, be sure to call 112 as fast as possible. So before the fire spreads, even if it's a little bush that's on fire, that can spread out and lose absolute control. And so 112 is the emergency number here in Marbella and around Europe, and it's the safest and quickest thing to do to get the starting fire under control. And even if it isn't a small fire, even if it is a big fire, just please let the right people know that there is a fire, and we have to do everything possible to keep where we live safe and where all the holiday makers come to keep it safe and pleasant to live in.
Hello everyone, and welcome again to the little spot for AAA. Today I have with me a doggy which is not from AAA and she's not for adoption. As many of you might not know, that Nicole King is a great animal lover and in great support of AAA. And this is her little doggy. This is Darling. Darling is already 13 years old. And one of the reasons that I would like to talk about Darling is because Darling is like a little working dog. Nicole is a dog lover and she takes Darling wherever she can to her work. And that's very important for people who would like to adopt a dog, that yes, if you have a job, you can have a dog, as long as you know that the dog can come with you to work, which is possible, luckily, in Nicole's case. But in many offices, they will also allow a little doggy. If not, then we would have to make sure that if you have a dog, that there is somebody who can take care of it at least once or twice a day, depending on how many hours you are leaving your house or your place where the dog is. Dogs can, of course, be alone for a couple of hours, but it is never ever good or never pleasant for a dog to be alone for a whole day. It's not good, even though they can go in and out. Once in a while it's okay, but you cannot have a dog and have it alone most of the time and only as a little playmate in the evening when you're there. It does happen, of course, but it's not a very nice thing for a dog to do. You wouldn't do that with your children, and therefore you wouldn't do that with your dogs. So little Darling is a little working companion with Nicole at the locations where she goes to and when she is in her office. So I would ask people, if you like to have a dog and you still have a job and you're doubting if it's possible, yes, it is possible. A working person can have a dog. Just make sure that it's either taken care of by somebody in the afternoon, or somebody who goes and visits it or takes it for a little walk while you're away, or take it to work. That would be a wonderful solution, of course. She's already 13 years old, which is quite old. At AAA we have quite a lot of old dogs. Sometimes people will bring the dogs to AAA when they're very old, because they're either old themselves and cannot no longer take care of the dog, which is a sad thing to do, because a dog that has been in a private home for many, many years to end up in a shelter is a very sad thing to see. I see it all the time. The dogs are really sad, they really feel it, and they don't really want to be there because it's a very scary experience for them. So if you're considering adopting a dog and you are a little bit older than very young, but you do have the time to take care of an older doggy, please come to AAA and adopt the dog of a little bit older, so that they have the last year or last few years still a loving home. They never need very much care, and very often the older dogs don't need to walk a lot. They just need loving care and a little bit of a walk outside, so once in a while. Of course, that also brings me to our next event, which will be the 18th of August. It's an international homeless dog, or homeless pet day, I should say. It will be honored by many countries, including us in Spain, and we will have the event here in the harbor, the Puerto Deportivo de Marbella, close by the restaurant where we are now. It will be an evening from 8 o'clock till about 11. We will have all kinds of information on the very, very important program of sterilization and neutering. We will tell people why it is important and how it's being done. Also, we have a lot of support from the veterinarians here in Marbella, and they are donating vouchers to help pay for the neutralization or sterilization of dogs and cats for the people who cannot afford it. it is definitely a good step in the right direction to start teaching people about sterilization and neutralization, because that is the only way we can stop the overpopulation of unwanted pets. So please join us on the 18th of August here in Deportivo, and we will have a candlelight vigil at 10:30. Everybody is welcome to come and light a candle for all the dogs that have been unnecessarily killed in the killing stations or the municipal pounds. So please come and join us. We have also fun there, of course. We have lots of beautiful balloons, and we love to see you there. Remember, don't shop, adopt. Thanks, darling. Hello everyone, and welcome again to the little spot for AAA. Today I have with me a doggy which is not from AAA, and she's not for adoption. As many of you might not know, that Nicole King is a great animal lover and in great support of AAA. And this is her little doggy. This is Darling. Darling is already 13 years old. And one of the reasons that I would like to talk about Darling is because Darling is like a little working dog. Nicole is a dog lover, and she takes Darling wherever she can to her work. And that's very important for people who would like to adopt a dog, that yes, if you have a job, you can have a dog, as long as you know that the dog can come with you to work, which is possible, luckily, in Nicole's case. But in many offices, they will also allow a little doggy. If not, then we would have to make sure that if you have a dog, that there is somebody who can take care of it at least once or twice a day, depending on how many hours you are leaving your house or your place where the dog is. Dogs can, of course, be alone for a couple of hours, but it is never ever good or never pleasant for a dog to be alone for a whole day. It's not good, even though they can go in and out. Once in a while it's okay, but you cannot have a dog and have it alone most of the time, and only as a little playmate in the evening when you're there. It does happen, of course, but it's not a very nice thing for a dog to do. You wouldn't do that with your children, and therefore you wouldn't do that with your dogs. So little Darling is a little working companion with Nicole at the locations where she goes to and when she is in her office. So I would ask people, if you like to have a dog and you still have a job and you're doubting if it's possible, yes, it is possible. A working person can have a dog. Just make sure that it's either taken care of by somebody in the afternoon, or somebody who goes and visits it or takes it for a little walk while you're away, or take it to work. That would be a wonderful solution, of course. She's already 13 years old, which is quite old. At AAA we have quite a lot of old dogs. Sometimes people will bring the dogs to AAA when they're very old, because they're either old themselves and cannot no longer take care of the dog, which is a sad thing to do, because a dog that has been in a private home for many, many years to end up in a shelter is a very sad thing to see. I see it all the time. The dogs are really sad, they really feel it, and they don't really want to be there because it's a very scary experience for them. So if you're considering adopting a dog and you are a little bit older than very young, but you do have the time to take care of an older doggy, please come to AAA and adopt the dog of a little bit older, so that they have the last year or last few years still a loving home. They never need very much care, and very often the older dogs don't need to walk a lot. They just need loving care and a little bit of a walk outside, so once in a while. Of course, that also brings me to our next event, which will be the 18th of August. It's an international homeless dog, or homeless pet day, I should say. It will be honored by many countries, including us in Spain, and we will have the event here in the harbor, the Deportivo, Puerto Deportivo de Marbella, close by the restaurant where we are now. It will be an evening from 8 o'clock till about 11. We will have all kinds of information on the very, very important program of sterilization and neutering. We will tell people why it is important and how it's being done. Also, we have a lot of support from the veterinarians here in Marbella, and they are donating vouchers to help pay for the neutralization or sterilization of dogs and cats for the people who cannot afford it. It is definitely a good step in the right direction to start teaching people about sterilization and neutralization, because that is the only way we can stop the overpopulation of unwanted pets. So please join us on the 18th of August here in Deportivo, and we will have a candlelight vigil at 10:30. Everybody is welcome to come and light a candle for all the dogs that have been unnecessarily killed in the killing stations or the municipal pounds. So please come and join us. We have also fun there, of course. We have lots of beautiful balloons, and we love to see you there. Remember, don't shop, adopt. Thanks, darling.
We're here on the lovely Marbella Paseo Marítimo, which is beautiful, and it's got the trees on the side and people jogging, and the beach is right on my left side, and the harbour's nice and close if you want to go inside and have a nice drink or have a bit of tapas, a bit of classic Spanish food. What I'm here to talk about is that Marbella Now TV is working closely with Línea Directa, and what we're doing is supporting road safety, road traffic safety. Remember, Costa del Sol has a long stretching road all across it, going from Malaga to Marbella, and from the airport coming all the way to Marbella. There's quite a lot of different nationalities. In fact, there's 147 nationalities here in Marbella, and somehow everyone's got to get here from Malaga airport. So there's going to be a lot of driving involved. There's going to be a lot of driving cultures, a lot of driving tendencies clashing with each other. So we're here trying to unite people and trying to promote these tips that we're going to give to you. Today's tip is going to be, we're talking about roundabouts. Roundabouts are a bit of a tricky thing, and I do recommend you look up on the subject matter. Remember, if you want to exit from a roundabout, you need to move to the right side lane of a roundabout before exiting. If not, you could be forced to circulate again and again until someone gives you the space to move to the right exit lane. Or then you might be forced into an accident, which we really don't want if you're spinning around and around in this roundabout. Now, what Línea Directa is doing, if you sign up with their insurance policy, you get many benefits from it. For example, the Zero Hero program that they're doing is a wonderful thing for all the designated drivers out there, because we know that in Marbella we like to go out for drinks, we like to party. It's a nice area and it's very chill, and why wouldn't you do that? So the Zero Hero policy supports many businesses. For example, Tibu, the club in Puerto Banús, Hard Rock Cafe here in Marbella, to promote they give free soft drinks to whoever is the designated driver, so you don't feel too bad about not drinking and having a good time. I'm not saying you have to drink to have a good time, but you know what I mean. So Línea Directa, if you get with the insurance, there's the Zero Hero program, which gets you free soft drinks. They also give a bunch of other things like free breathalyzers and free taxis. So make sure to go check them out and be safe out there while driving.
I met the lovely Francine Winter at one of the events, here for being healthy, happy, getting in touch with oneself. And through Francine now I get the opportunity of meeting the lovely Mario. In fact, I met Mario yesterday because I went and had a Reiki session with you, and I have to say it was pleasantly surprising. So thank you very much. I did. I didn't really... I've heard the word Reiki. I think a lot of us hear Reiki. But Mario, first of all, thank you for joining us on the programme. I know you're very busy and you're on a flying visit from the UK. What is Reiki for those of us who really don't know and we're too scared to ask because we should know?
Okay, so Reiki is energy work. Can be described as a relaxation technique that promotes healing. That's the very basic explanation of it. We can go quite cosmic with the energy aspect of it, into the quantum part of it, where it's predominantly a self-development tool. And once somebody's taken down this path of self-development, you can turn Reiki over to help other people. Becomes a healing tool as well at that point.
Is that what it was for you at first, a self-development tool?
Absolutely, yeah. For me, it came to me through meditation. I'd never heard of Reiki. I came out of a meditation and I literally heard the words, you're going to learn Reiki and you're going to heal people with your hands. And I had to Google what the word was. I had no idea what it was at that time. And that was strong enough for me to follow that path, which led me to my master who trained me up, who was amazed at my abilities, my inherent abilities. And as soon as I was initiated into the Reiki degrees, I was on the road to be a master at that point.
Can I ask, I mean, you're not the typical, perhaps, embodiment of what one would assume, in the sense of, even for doing meditation, you're a big strong lad, you got your tats. So how did you even start on that path of meditation? Have you always been peaceful?
Okay, so one way or another, I've trodden this path until now, throughout my life. It's been very colourful, to say the least. The actual turning point for me was, I was training in Muay Thai, it's a martial art, Thai boxing. And in Muay Thai, there's a certain dance you do in the ring, a spiritual dance, a very spiritual martial art. So before you go into fight with your opponent, you evoke the spirits to help you and open up the third eye. So this, for me, once I began this process, led me into the meditation, led me further into the Reiki. It was the evolution of my life at that point. That was the turning point. Yeah.
It was funny to see how really life is just putting you in the place you need to be at the right time. I have to say that for me, it seemed to be the right place, the right time. I like to know before I have someone on the program what it's about. You don't want to recommend things in the sense of, I didn't have a reason as such to see you, except for the television, to know what you're talking about. I do like to have my quiet moments. It was very strange because at first I was very aware of what you were doing, but then suddenly I found myself not in myself, and I only realized it because I suffer from sinusitis, and I felt that there was like mucus was building up, and I suddenly realized I had to go back to swallow. Yeah. What was that all about?
Okay, so this would be your body goes into a relaxation. It's similar to meditation, what I'll put you into. Some people come out of their body as you did, others will remain totally grounded within there. There'll be a resistance. Not everybody's going to do this. This is just your energy, your astral body coming out of yourself. So I then ground you back into your physical self, which you did yourself because you needed to
swallow.
It, absolutely, yeah.
But it was a very strange feeling, because although I've heard about these things, I wasn't wanting to do that. I wasn't giving myself over to that. And as I say, at first I was very aware of what you were doing, but then really it became very energy orientated to just feeling. We are very minded in our day-to-day, in the sense of we're always thinking, we're always worrying, we're always stressing, we're always planning, we're always worrying about the past, the future. All of this obviously is creating different energies, and from now understanding more about the importance to control our energy. Is that what we can get from country? Why would we go and see a Reiki master like yourself?
So controlling your energy, I'm not sure that's the exact word. Maybe fine-tuning, adjusting, unblocking, just allowing it to flow through, and to connect yourself to your outer energy as well. It's not just your inner energy. You have an astral body, your energy extends pretty much infinitely, which is why we're all connected with this energy. This energy it's cosmic energy, divine.
I heard something maybe
force.
to help others understand. I saw something to try and explain this. It was like if you have 100 candles, each candle has a light on it, but they're all burning from the same air. They're all giving the same light, and it's like people, we're all those candles.
Sure.
So we're all grabbing onto the same energy. Mm-hmm. We're all connected.
Absolutely.
In a certain way.
Absolutely. Any separation's an illusion. This space between us is an illusion. This is actually as solid as we are, but it shows itself as space. Whereas we vibrate, our energy vibrates at a certain frequency that makes you seem solid, makes this table seem solid. Actually, everything is vibrating energy. So with Reiki, come back to your question, is why would somebody come to see me? for absolutely any reason. You can come to me thinking you are 100% in tune, physically fit, no ailments, and come to me simply to feel good. Give yourself an extra boost. You can never have too much of good energy. And it can up to serious diseases. You know, I've seen miraculous changes with people. I not only do what we did, a kind of introduction to the energy, a relaxation. It was I kind of tried to energise you, give you a nice experience. But I do. I walk the streets and help homeless people. I go to hospitals and treat cancer patients. You know, really, it's limitless. If you accept that reality of what we're made of, where we come from, stars, it's a limitless. Your imagination is the
important thing is to let your imagination flow,
Absolutely.
to let your energies flow, and to be in the moment. Mario, it's been a first introduction for our audience to meet you. It's been a very pleasurable moment having a chance to introduce you to the public, and I have to say that I did enjoy the session. I didn't really understand what was going on, but yes, I would go back. I want to find out a bit more.
I'd really like you to come back.
I will do. You think I need the help?
Well, we can talk further.
We can all do with help. Let's face it. No, it's no man is an island, or we shouldn't be. Hashtag better together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
The nicest thing about doing Marbella Now for me is I get to meet so many different people, but it's the networking that makes it possible. This lovely guest, Evangelos, comes courtesy of Georgina Shaw of Shaw Marketing Services, and she said to me, you're just going to want to meet this gentleman. You have a business school in Estepona, and from what we've just been chatting, really a pleasure to meet you. I can't wait to know more.
Nice to be here, thank you.
Evangelos, your surname is unpronounceable for me at the moment. I can practice.
Zongraphos.
Zongraphos.
Means painter.
Painter, Zongraphos, Greek origins.
Greek origins, yes.
But where are you from? Greece yourself?
No Greek origins. Grew up in London, in the UK. At the age of 10.
Yeah, I already found out that you speak Spanish, and that's not normal for us Brits. So how did that come about? How do you speak Spanish?
My wife is Spanish, and basically learned the language that way.
Which part of Spain is she from?
Galicia.
Oh, so in Galicia, although there are tourism, it's not in the same way that we have here in the Costa del Sol.
No, it's far more
So you speak
rural,
Spanish
far
or you
more-
don't eat?
Exactly. No
Basically.
choice. And the food is great there. So.
The food is great. It's very different, the style of cuisine from here in the Mediterranean side of Spain
A lot
up
of
to
fish, a lot
Galicia.
of
Shellfish.
shellfish, absolutely.
And the style of big
very
potajes,
rich.
like those stew type foods, which obviously when it's colder are very welcomed.
Stodge.
I was trying to let someone
you
asked
warm.
me to translate the word slop. I said, how do you explain slop? But we managed to find it in the end. So, Evangelos,
Yes.
you have a business school.
Well,
Explain
part
a little
of-
bit.
part of the
Tell me
team.
more.
School was started by Dr. Edward Shellhammer, psychologist by training, an author as well, 9 years ago. It's actually probably the best kept secret in the Costa, because now we're also fully accredited by ASIC, which is a British accreditation service, which means that anybody who studies with us, their diploma degree is accepted in Europe, in the USA, in Asia.
A real school.
Oh, absolutely,
It's a real-
absolutely.
it's a real
The real deal.
The real deal.
Absolutely.
And what kind of education do you
Higher
offer?
education, higher education. We're a business school offering bachelor's programs and master's programs for essentially, because down here in the Costa there's a very good secondary education system. There's Aloha, there's Soto Grande School, but there's nothing for higher education. So a young man, young lady wants to finish their A-levels, carry on studying, they haven't got many choices.
If you want to stay in Marbella or in this area in the Costa del Sol, these are the facilities that do make us five-star. These are the things that do bring people in to buy homes with their families, knowing that they have this mid-long-term option.
Absolutely right, absolutely right.
In this community, in the sense of it's like you can travel the world, work in the world without leaving. Having a good business knowledge basically here serves you for everything.
That's the premise. Trade is what actually unifies all of us. and business is essentially trade.
I mean, even if you're an actor, a singer,
A
if you don't know how to
psychologist,
manage your
absolutely.
own finances,
Absolutely right.
how many of our pop stars or actors end up being swindled out of everything because their financial manager
It's
or
fundamental,
controller?
Fundamental. Especially nowadays, it's a complex world, it's a globalized world, and in that sense, lots of things are common. But one thing is common is obviously the English language, and the other thing is everybody's involved in business.
Exactly.
Everything's a business.
Everything's a business, no, exactly, even if you're an artist or a performer.
Absolutely.
If someone, as I understand that if you've done your A-levels, etc., but if someone wants to go and do a course, business management, let's say they're not necessary, that maybe they don't have O-levels, maybe they don't have A-levels, but they want to go and do a course.
We offer something called the foundation program, which is for, let's say, 17-year-olds who haven't done phenomenally well. They want to improve. They want to have, if you like, a university education. They can attend that program. We get them ready. It's a pre-university program, and then they can go on and either go to another university or join us for a BA program.
And unfortunately, and this has actually got you in the Spanish system, and with a lot of our international children having been placed in the Spanish system that has a repeat a year, there are certain things you don't pass, math and the Spanish language, that they make you repeat. So there are actually more children that have fallen out of the system than maybe we'd like to recognise.
And that is something we also want to address, and in fact we are addressing it next year by offering A-levels as well, because we're going to be accredited by Cambridge. So a student can come to us from the age of 16 all the way to 23 and then come back and do his MBA after he's had some work experience.
My gosh, this is fabulous news. Having kids myself, obviously I appreciate the importance of these offers. I'm not such a kid myself. Could I come and do a course? Is there anything for grown-ups to come and do?
We have programs like that as well.
Because I think it's important to get a grip of organisation.
Executive programs are run for a semester, or there's something far more that Dr. Shahama specializes in. He calls it the retreat, which offers, how can I describe it, spiritual healing, for want of another description.
And guidance, don't in a sense, everything is involved. How many people, I've been talking, I work with opticians in my day-to-day through my normal world. And I have someone new starting work, and I said, like, you speak to them, because they're coming with that attitude of a city, and everything's important, and everything's urgent, and everything's yesterday, and nothing's satisfactory. This is obviously very detrimental to any business.
Not only business, but education itself.
And
a lot of education has become a bit like a sausage factory. And our move to Estepona, for example, and the new campus that we have, where we incorporate accommodation, literally in a beautiful environment, so they can come there, stay there, study there, swim if they want to, play paddle if they want to, go to the gym, all is available.
Wow, I was thinking about taking a few days holiday. I'm coming to book in with you.
Come and join us.
I definitely think it's worth coming personally to see, and also if we can arrange to come up with the cameras, because it sounds fabulous, and it is. This is the key to Marbella. For us to have a healthy future as a community and as a city, we need good educational facilities, and this is what
that's exactly what we're offering.
your facilities are offering.
We've taken a long time, we've refined our product or our service, and as I said, getting accreditation from the UK now for us was, if you like, the cherry on the icing.
Well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm coming to stay. Book me in, Dano. Sorry,
Please do.
Evangelos.
Please do.
Absolute pleasure. We'll be seeing you again.
Fantastic.
As my daddy said, it's not a threat, it's a promise.
No problem. Okay.
Super.
Yeah, good.
The Zero Hero program supports a lot of businesses, as you know, and I'm going to list you them all right now. It's quite a long list. So we have on the Zero Hero program, which reminds you, you get free soft drinks at any of these places if you are with Linea Directa and if you are the designated driver. So we have the Kempinski Bahia, Urban Villa Boutique Hotel, the Hard Rock Cafe in Puerto Banús, La Red Beach Bar, the Harbour, as I've just announced, Beckett's, the Playwright, Tibu, Babylonia, Portside, Lineker's, Que Padre Mexicano, Ambrosia, and so many more. So visit our website at a www.marbellanowtv.com to find all of these restaurants that are with the Zero Hero program. And contact us if you're interested in joining into the wonderful program of Zero Hero, so you can have promotion on this TV. And also, it's just a wonderful thing to have in a place, and it's a wonderful surprise for any visitors who come to your business. I'm joined here by the lovely Linda Wooden, who is on the committee, you said?
Yes.
Of Age Concern in Marbella here and in San Pedro. Now tell me, why do we need to be concerned with our age?
Well, with Age Concern, there are a lot of people over 50 that live along this coast, and they need, at some point, possibly, to be cared for, looked after, guided in different directions. The public need to know that they can't possibly walk down to the local shops, and one of the neighbours could go and do that, or in certain other situations, you've got the volunteers that can actually go in and talk to them and so on and so forth. But there are a lot of people that are not aware that we have got Age Concern down here in southern Spain. They're all aware of the British one, but they're not really aware of the south coast of Spain, and particularly Andalusia.
How can clients get with the system? How do they need to get to keep in contact with you people?
Well, obviously we have a telephone number, we have a helpline, and they can find that out by going onto Google and asking for Age Concern Marbella San Pedro, and obviously we will pop up because we now have a website eventually. You know, which is absolutely fantastic.
Sounds great.
But also, if you go through the British Consul, they have a website that will guide them to the branch that they need to go for in order to be able to look after that person, because it's not just Marbella San Pedro, although I'm only involved in that. We have Fuengirola, we have down in Estepona, we have various branches along the Costa del Sol.
So if I want to help out with this, what should I be doing? How do I get involved?
Well, if you wanted to come along as a volunteer, or a youth volunteer for that matter as well, what you would do is approach us. We would then do an assessment of what you're wanting to do for the association, and then you would be put through a course. It's only an hour's course on how to go and see older people, how to deal with them, and that sort of thing. And then also fundraising, you know, which is actually jolly important for all of us along the coast here, because the only way that we can all survive is through raising money and awareness through the public.
And you've told me that you have events coming up.
Yes, very exciting.
Tell me about
those.
We
have a couple of events happening. We have one in September, mid-September, which is a mid-season event. And then we have always, which is very successful, a Christmas event where we have a choir. And last year, we had a very successful one with 93 people came along for Christmas lunch.
That's amazing.
And it was hugely popular, and many people obviously have come to see their families down on the coast, and they take their mothers or their fathers or whatever to the lunch because they're unable to get there themselves because they don't drive anymore and so on. But the most exciting thing is we've now got a new fundraising committee member.
Oh, really?
And he's been very involved with large companies all over the world, and he's recently agreed to join our committee. So it's very exciting.
Really good.
Yes. So next year we're planning an enormous event with about 200 people, you know, and obviously we're just putting it all together right now and sorting out the right venue for that particular event. But what we are desperate for, if you don't mind me asking you, is we're desperate for people who need our help. We have many volunteers now. Thank you very much to, obviously,
to everyone helping.
yes, to everyone helping and so on. but we need more patience, basically.
It's a very interesting situation you have there. So you have all of this possibility and all this amazing work that you guys are doing, but you just need to, you really want to help others, don't you?
Yeah, and obviously, you know, there are quite a lot of fairly elderly people, and they prefer living here than living in the UK or Finland, which I believe is where you come from.
Yes, my grandparents come down here when it's too cold in winter. And so yeah, I definitely think that this could be a good thing for them as well.
Well, a good place for them to retire to, really.
Definitely.
And so therefore we have to be very aware of that. There's some very good homes here that will look after people. But pre that, we need to think about how do we get to those people. So please phone us.
Okay.
And, you know, we'll go do an assessment and then take that person on and put them in the right direction.
So what I understand is anyone, if you know anyone who is in need of something like age concern or who is in need of help, really, just an assisting hand. Age Concern has many volunteers and they can help out with many things. And so September's
our first event. Look out for it.
Sounds like fun.
Yes, it'll be fun, and hopefully you can maybe come along.
Absolutely, that sounds very good.
Yes.
Really good. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Pleasure, absolute
thank you
pleasure.
for informing everyone about this wonderful thing that you guys have going.
Thank you very much as well.
Thank you so much.
I can't believe that's a wrap for another week's recording of Marbella Now. Thank you so much for joining us here in the Marbella Marina, here in the Harbour Restaurant. It looks very private and prestigious in the Royal Maritime Club, and although it is prestigious, it isn't private. The restaurant, the Harbour, is open from 10 in the morning. You can eat all the way through the day, right until the evening. And this handsome young man on the end is Ugo. He'll take good care of you because you are very, very welcome. Thank you for joining us. You can watch recordings of this show, if you've missed it, at 8 o'clock any day on out from our website, MarbellaNowTV.com. Big thank you, round of applause for our guests and friends who've come to join us for the recording. And we'll see you again next week. Take care of yourselves, be nice to each other. Bye! Bye! Bye!